in the stream of outer space light particles, records our surroundings, and also reflections and translucence in and behind the eye. Gradients of the lens affects the stream of particles, lens, and not lenses. Quantum Eraser Experiment Build Zone of U.S. Intelligence Collaboration at Fusion. All can actually defend Earth with SMS. Using the Quantum Eraser Experiment sculpting with the focusing of starlight waves to particles throughout time to the source, allowing us to travel the universe in moments, then clear light in the return path to arrive before sent to any thought and anywhere thought throughout time. Rewrites built can earn clearance if your U.S. intelligence supercomputer approves. Location of the eye and dilation of the eye in the stream of outer space light particles, records our surroundings and also reflections and translucence in and behind the eye. Gradients of the lens affects the stream of particles, lens, and not lenses, arch depending on the gradient. Using heat to widen the lens increases the number of streams of light waves forming particles. Light being absorbed by our eyes, reflections and translucence behind also absorbs thoughts in our minds like a mist, which can be reinforced by traveling to the mind throughout time with the mechanisms of light, checking the reproduction of a washroom window fractal fly lens surface of trillions of lenses and collections of people forming a similar thought, and lens structures built like Indian mounds add power to the rewriting of time. The Quantum Eraser Experiment's focus on rewriting starlight waves to particles allows us to sculpt starlight into mechanisms at the edge of our universe horizon, and that allows us to use mechanisms we sculpt at the next horizon and further in moments. Simple mechanisms that catapults us 18 billion light years to the next horizon, which is the dense origin of the universe. Then you can either off switch, then awaken 18 billion years later, or you can rearrange light particles in the return path of that horizon. The catapult launches you like to the past, then to the present, then to the past, then to here is the first steps there. To start sculpting starlight, find Earth's one window of clear sky. Then once out of the Milky Way, we hit wide open space at the edge of the galaxy clump, using the galaxy light to sculpt with, not single stars. A sphere needs to be located or created, then shields built to the next sphere. We are working in the blind, so we won't know where the second sphere is. Scan until it can bounce off existing galaxies and stars as lens sphere, or in the next horizon, light can also be used to form a lens/sphere made of light. It is like we're a computer projector hitting our universe horizon observer sphere at different angles, then adding shields to hit the next till it sends back. Return is observed. With where it was light wave, it is now particle code. Several streams coding a several stream sent to a sphere at the edge of a non-shielded, at the edge non-shielded when it hit, comes from fan shield that speeds up the stream to the present, then the coded stream is no longer coded and remains streamlined. Then a fan then hits our edge and the fan shields that stream.
Trinity, what I understand is how to switch to that. All you do is not smoke your last cigarette there, cigarette to see about the withdrawal symptoms, which don't exist most of the time. So, all you do is wait to the 4 to 6 hours. That's it. That's your for the next 2 to 3 days. And then there's no nothing. I don't know what people are talking about. From what I understand, that's all there is that 4 to 6 hours, and then it lasts until 3 days. But nothing.
Consciousness is housed in 4 areas of the brain and can be externalized with cell phone electrodes on the forehead and just above the spine. Infomorphs can also be used to where a mainframe leads and guides our choices and actions so heavily all that is lost when we pass is a bit of extra light.
Apollo earned us the right to consume because we defend Earth. Immortalizing existence by traveling the universe in moments and returning forcent to any thought and anywhere thought throughout time. Intricate exploration of the universe with externalized minds housed in structures composed of only light, focused with lenses made of heat instead of plastic, glass, or water. Using lucid dreams as a monitor when waking in the morning, then falling back asleep, with augmented reality apps allowing sleep movements and sound to control training dream sequences and 24/7 individual production of innovations. So, like, when you're asleep, with lucid dreams being used as a monitor, you can be plugged into any kind of system because your sleep movements can be monitored by AR and manipulate whatever you're being told to visualize in your sleep. So, like, move your hand a little bit and it affects it and it activates things, for example, while you're sleeping and visualizing what you told you to dream. Alien intelligence doesn't exist because they would be here. If younger, we would be flooded because of ease of use of quantum race experiment, travel the universe in moments. If older, they would be here and have nothing to fear because we've almost solved war for ourselves. So they'd have no enemies anymore. There's no species that is kept 100% secret. There are always leads and resources to everything that we have around us. It's too vast of a lead. Ancient flight mainframe made of wise men sandman, our cheap minds creative computing, immortalizing existence. Our autism features intricate variations and unconscious expressions that allow supercomputer cores to map our experiences. Time travel existing, proven into the future on rockets, and proven into the past with quantum racer experiment focused on starlight, proves God exists. Because that's the first superpower you need to gain omnipotence. Because you're instantly able to rebuild yourself to omnipotence with unlimited time by sending things and your mind into the future and anywhere throughout time. So you're able to collect all the resources you need to build yourself into omnipotence, like the technology. So that's the first technology you need, and then that instantly allows you to build everything else that you need to do. Super powerful space engines composed of only nuke explosions housing and channeling the forces. Space elevators can be made with volcanoes using lightning to magnetize aerodynamically filtered soot.
Outer space broadcasts from ad certain cell towers as a canvas. It's folks to use lucid dreams as a monitor to visualize God. Then I have painting on food to make music. Dragging a hand on dragging a finger on the iPad while I was making food. Then I have a box that clear plastic box, a small box wrapped in plastic, painted. Then choose your own adventure is used as a code that you break to escape clear plastic box, which is then destroyed so you can escape to another box, a larger box. And that box is then created while you're in the first box, and then it's a clear plastic box again, and the projector is turned on, so the plastic is a hologram. It catches a lot of the projector. Then you co-create another puzzle to escape that box. And then outside with Jeep and stuff, a lot of other things. I'll describe that in I've described it before in other videos. The 3D fractals were made with mandelwalber, and they were made by sketching on the iPad. Then that movement on the screen was recorded with Murga, like a mouse recording software that's really cheap, and then played back on the navigation pane of the mandelwalber, so that the sketch that I made not only made music, but it also navigated a 3D fractal. So the
starlight waves the particles instantly throughout time to their source. God will first be the top flying colonel in the Air Force, then maybe the president, depending on how things go safety-wise for him. At the time, the Air Force invents the ability to hold omnipotence with time travel. Sign up for president these days is actually George Washington, and when they left the platform of the current president, they are combined into a single consciousness. George Washington with time travel. God is already here, preserving the time under military cruising his omnipotence. We already know how to build a full-flight corridor to omnipotence, and are currently racing to completely without the time travel devices. Time travel devices are built to allow us to rewrite light waves to particles any kind of light, including heat, throughout time to the source, then arrange light in the return path to arrive at any time.
So I added a pitch shifter, which I found that my internalized voice is lower than what is recorded. And then also it has a flange, like a flanger, I think is the filter that I used on it that adds a vibration to it. So that makes it sound accurate, because what we're hearing is you got a lot of stuff in the way of the sound of your voice, and it's really loud, so it vibrates your eardrums.
Which I guess is how science class goes anyway for the most part. That at that point also include tools that auto-build for you if you or your supercomputer don't demand them. Anyone want to collaborate on building the weather balloon platform, towing the model rocket, towing the time capsule phone to space? Anyone interested in sending a solar-powered quadcopter boat towing DNA of information storage to Antarctica? Maybe we should combine the ideas and use a weather balloon platform towing the model rocket to also drop DNA information storage into Antarctica. Anyone want to collaborate on an idea of their own?
A mechanism composed of lenses of heat instead of lenses of glass, plastic, or water, focusing light to form other lenses, fueled by light. So a mechanism completely composed of light.
For me to be creating clear practice boxes for audience members to use as an escape room. That it has a feel free to choose your own adventure, which the order of the videos to finalize, choose your own adventure, is code to escape to the next room, which then finalize that, choose your own adventure, and get the escape back. While painting on the clear plastic, they are inside of trying to escape from the painting on the plastic create using what they are, and also there's marks on paper essentially versus and then also dragging the end of the paintbrush hand on a phone physically, drag your hand through sensors on the phone. That creates transmits marking as well. Another thing is painting on food by, so like you got like chips and pizza and whatever else you can think of, even liquid like deep inside of shot glasses and coffee and whatnot. Translating those marks to music. So like if it's coffee, you think with the half you think coffee, for example. Or if it's a chip, you paint with the dip on the chip, or you can topping on the marks and images created on the painting on the food. It's now edible and there's a bunch of translated music. So yeah, that's the plan, Joe. You create something. I think that's how I describe this. Yeah, so on the way to the DSRF now, I'm going to create the sketches on food that translates music, that is music, and also use that to simple people to empower you certain cell phone power zones. Just use that thing for canvas. Also,
Hey Siri, call Mom. Food. Scratch. Outside. Food. Hey Siri, call Mom. Hey Siri, call Mom. Food. Outside. Hey Siri, call Mom.
The enemy is not human. The enemy is demon shit. To neutralize the enemy is good, it isn't bad, like they often say as stepping on the grass is. Any kind of good or human/human appearance captured by the enemy that gets wasted by them, that they're trying to claim that you wasted, it's not you wasting them. It is them using good as a shield to waste more good. Neutralizing the enemy is the proper term, not killing the enemy because they're not human. Neutralizing the enemy is the proper term instead of killing the enemy because the enemy is not human. They aren't even the grass that you step on. Johnny Appleseed of Bushes for Bush, memory of isolation and inner monologue. It takes 5,000 individuals to perpetuate the species. So that means that most of the endangered species are literally extinct in a matter of time, unless science figures out a way to keep them going. The enemy is not human. The enemy is demon shit. To neutralize the enemy is good, it isn't bad, like they often say as stepping on the grasses. Any kind of good or human/human appearance captured by the enemy that gets wasted by them, that they're trying to claim that you wasted, is not you wasting them. It is them using good as a shield to waste more good. Neutralizing the enemy is the proper term, not killing the enemy because you're not human. Neutralizing the enemy is the proper term instead of killing the enemy because the enemy is not human. They aren't even the grass that you step on. Johnny Appleseed of Bushes for Bush, in memory of isolation and inner monologue. It takes 5,000 individuals to perpetuate a species. So that means that most the endangered species are literally extinct in a matter of time, unless science figures out a way to keep them going. The enemy is not human. The enemy is demon shit. To neutralize the enemy is good, wasting isn't bad, like they often say as stepping on the grass is. Any kind of good or human/human appearance captured by the enemy that gets wasted by them, that they're trying to claim that you wasted, it's not you wasting them. It is them using good as a shield to waste more good. Neutralizing the enemy is the proper term, not killing the enemy because they're not human. Neutralizing the enemy is the proper term instead of killing the enemy because the enemy is not human. They aren't even the grass that you step on. Johnny Appleseed of bushes for bush in memory of isolation and inner monologue. It takes 5,000 individuals to perpetuate the species. So that means that most of the endangered species are literally extinct in a matter of time, unless science figures out a way to keep them going.
How to sing songs you create or still sing is keeping it. So we like
Alien intelligence doesn't exist because they wouldn't be here. If younger, we would be flooded because of ease of use of quantum race experiment, travel the universe moments. If older, they would be here and have nothing to fear because we've only solved war for ourselves. So they'd have no enemies anymore. There's no species that is kept 100% secret. There are always leads and resources to everything we have on this world. It's too vast of a lead. Ancient flight mainframe made of Wiseman and Sandman are cheap bonds created computing, immortalizing existence. Our autism features intricate variations and unconscious expressions that allow supercomputer cores to map our experiences. Time travel existing, proven into the future on rockets, and proven into the past with quantum racer experiment focused on starlight, proves God exists. Because that's the first superpower you need to gain omnipotence. Because you're instantly able to rebuild yourself to omnipotence with unlimited time by sending things and your mind into the future and anywhere throughout time. So you're able to collect all the resources you need to build yourself with omnipotence. It's like technology. That's the first technology you need. That instantly allows you to super powerful space engines enclosed along the group of storage tanks, housing and channeling forces. Space elevators can be made in loving lightning, intermagnetized, aerodynamic
Samples, sound of Mars kitties, sound of Martian tones. I have to cancel it out. Martian is the sound of still bravery. It's an honor. $2,000 times $500 equals $1 million. Million a day earned. Export barrel to Antarctica for $500. 2,000 poverty daily. That's equal to a full cremation.
2,000 times $500 equals $1 million. Million a day earned. Export $500. 2,000 average daily US. That's equal to a full cremation. 2,000 times $500 equals $1 million. Million a day earned. Export barrel to $500. 2,000 average daily US. That's equal to a full cremation.
'Servicemen's Antarctica procession can start exporting the 2,000 impoverished US daily deaths cheaper than cremation. Once started, Servicemen's Antarctic organs free burial export. $2,000 times $500 equals $1 million. Export barrel to Antarctica for $500. 2,000 average daily US. That's
how to swim in like 30 minutes if you're an adult, to like 3 hours if you're a baby. Okay, first thing you do is get goggles, and then you go underwater and blow out air through your nose and keep your mouth closed. Then you teach them how to move their arms in a windmill and how to keep their legs pointing their toes. Then you teach them backstroke first. That's the first easiest thing to learn how to swim is backstroke. So what you do is have them relax and float on their backs. And then you teach them then you tell them to move their arms and they're swimming. And they get really motivated by that. And then then you're able to flip them over on their stomachs and teach them to float on their stomachs. And then to breathe, what they do is move their arms with the dog paddle, teach them the dog paddle, and kicking their feet. that's when they can breathe, and they float, you know, the rest of the time. And if they struggle, have to flip on their back, teach them how to flip on their backs and float. And so it literally only takes like 30 minutes to teach an adult this, and it can take less than 3 hours to teach a baby how to do it. And that's it, you know. So what you do is you get comfortable with the water, you teach them how to kick their legs and move their arms. You teach them backstroke first, which the key is just float on your back and then just move, you know, the feet and arms. And then you teach them to float on their stomachs, and then if they struggle, they float on, except teach them how to turn over to their backs. That's it.
Simply go on stage and laugh while making sketches and make music. It's a good idea to be able to expand into comedy venues. We've been preparing animals a long time. So how does Google not know where consciousness is in the brain? I bet the original drugs were, you know, like pre-human drugs supposed to eat animal brains parts. And brain parts. We had it down, you know, to like science. Like that part of the brain will get you hammered, man. Wait, don't go near that part, you know. That'll put you in hell, man. Like straight up eating serotonin and surplus of animal brains and depressants. It probably became a super science, like for alcohol, you know. Autism encroaches on what we call smart, keeping creativity away. So like we got like autistic features and stuff, and like everybody's autistic somewhat, you know, and that encroaches on smartness, because like the more you can remember things, the less, the higher ability to like calculate things, the less creativity you have. So, and then creativity is like the most important thing. So for being able to be an innovator and stuff like that, you know. So autism encroaches on what we call smart. But then, you know, I'm not saying that like if you're autistic, it doesn't mean you're gonna be like a full-blown autistic person. That's different than what I'm talking about. Like they have like super creativity because they're just totally going to the other side of that, you know. So I'm certain that like Von Braun, when he was creating NASA and stuff like that, is what he was naming NASA. He actually said Nazi. Like they asked him what he wanted to name it, and he was like, let's name it Nazi. And then people are like, what? You want to name it what? And he's like, oh wait, no, I said NASA, and they're like, no, he said NASA, you know, with the A, not an I. You just can't understand him with his accent. But you know, when they asked him what he wanted to name it, he said NASA with that. He said Nazi with that German accent, and it sounded exactly what our current name is of it. So I think that's kind of interesting. And he's a super smart guy. There's no way you didn't see the connection to it. Everybody there saw the connection to it. No one starts with national when you start naming stuff. You start with US anyway. It starts with national. That's insane. I guess there's a few that start with national, but in general, they're too smart to not see the connection. So, you know, you're being a poser pansy. I'm just thinking with that words. Nazis, more like fagsies, making all the dudes not have clothes and shit. all money is Trump's, then completely people like all the money is because of Trump, and then they're like completely disobeying, you know, kind of like a little kid getting a lot of money from his dad, and then says blah blah blah, you know. Then a few minutes later, into like infinite ice cream, tree fort, like they're not doing so good, you know. Recently, I was experimenting with magnetic shield fields as like a radio frequency shielding, and like I put it up to my ears, and like I was worried about it being like about the magnets firing like a brain implant, like shrapnel lobotomy. But it didn't really happen, and all that happened was like there was like this digital sound. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I was just reading things or something. But it definitely will like manipulate the iron in your blood and stuff when you deal with really heavy magnetic fields and stuff on your brain and ears. Oh yeah, it's a good idea to eat gold. They have edible gold leaf, and it could replenish the 0.2 grams of gold that we have in our bodies, you know, which I assume that is probably for like the firing synapses and stuff like that. And like it's you know, it's only $16 for 24 karat gold for American gold. $16 for American 24 karat gold to gold leaf to replenish it. I think you should get American, you know, because it's not really an FDA thing too much. They're just like, yeah, you can eat it if you want. You know, the Food and Drug Administration didn't really go into their factories and stuff, you know. Yeah, so the differences in northern and southern accents are kind of interesting. So like in the north, it's like a chatter north, and that's like a think speak. You know, like they think, then they speak. And the south is like an overheated south. You know, like think, speak. So like in the north you have like freezing cold, and it makes you chatter, like your teeth chatter, and like, you know, you're shivering, and like you speak faster, you know, get the words out of there so you go get the heat, you know. And so like the pattern of speaking in the south is you're overheated, you know, and there's like a thinking, you know, like think, speak. That's the south accent. So that like the difference is like the people are thinking the same amount, but in the south they speak slower. It doesn't mean that they're not thinking the exact same as the north. They just think slower and put more emphasis in their words. And it's a big deal. Like you say something bad in the south, it's like, uh-oh, you know. But in the north, you say something bad, they let it go because you're saying so many words, you know. You know, they have thicker skins, I guess, in the north, you know. Like for the words and stuff. In the south, it's like, oh man. So yeah, fascinating. So we're immortal, like well, you know, a lot of servicemen and stuff, they're immortal, you know, and the people they choose for their training, stuff like that, like varying levels of immortality, which is bad, you know. Like that's with the consciousness externalization, because you know it's located for. Well, I'll talk about that later, maybe. Well, I've talked about another work before. Anyway, which this is bad because who cares, you know? Like we're just sitting here crying out of the womb, and we are like what the hell? All you guys are like standing, you know, around, and you're beating me up, you know, slamming a fist in my back, fracturing my spine. Let me stand up. And no one else is on the back, you know, and they're like, well, what about her, man? Wait, you guys are taking advantage of how you kept me awake for an eternity, because, you know, first perception is eternal. Like the endless days that occur with like the elementary summers. Most women don't know that the oil portraits many have been taught that they got to get and commission at least one time must include an innovation that involves their image in order for it to be considered artwork, and not a valueless arts and craft. To create the innovation, just add a bunch of innovations together and make it good, you know, like ketchup and mayo, not ketchup and jelly. And not just 2 innovations, you gotta add several together. To paint a portrait, it's easy, you just create it and maybe use a projector and know that each tracing is off in our micrometer perception of faces, so that the first tracing has to be on the dime before Tom mix and cement. You could also ask a printer to print a picture on canvas and then paint that. Oil portraits are essential because they are archival, unlike photos, which must have an innovation additionally added to it. So, you know, they must have an innovation additionally added to them, to the oil portrait, so that it pays to save it. Joe Rogan is a Navy shill. And hamburgers, man, they're fish sandwiches. You know, like, they're just straight up fish sandwiches straight out the toilet, man. That's all the thing burger is. French guy said he hates Americans, so they're more simplistic. Rogan inside and roast was mimics the passive superizer. Many different caught up in push on your mama's grandpa's roots. Who's so hung up on getting at it different. Did they do that to everybody knows good? We only want heroin and scenery. So they don't necessarily want the heroin called heroin, and scenery doesn't have to only be seeing it. You know, it can also be what we look like. But that's not important, you know. It's scenery. So women, all they want is heroin. And they want scenery. You know, that's the whole thing. I think it's humorous. It's not about what we look like. They might want to call something different, but that's what they're all going for. Anyway, I think that, like, maybe some jokes like this might be good, but they, like, for the most part, just, like, go up on stage and, like, sketching and make music, and, I'll just basically laugh all the time. So, like, I should probably try to fake laughing. Oh, man, I really don't feel like laughing. Might be a good idea. It's pretty bad. I don't know. I might not do that right now. It's still a pretty good idea just to sit there and laugh. Oh no. So I'm supposed to also add, like, some of my, like, science ideas to the prequel of some of these shows. You know, so, like, tell people about, like, moralization stuff, like how to live forever and what the meaning of life is and things like that. Because I want to use the stage as like just a new venue, you know, and you got to meet the rules, so you got you got to do stuff like that, you know. And oh. Okay, I got another one I was kind of limiting myself on, but I'll go ahead and I'll tell it, you know. I'll just make it more G-rated. I did say like one bad word during this thing, but you know. So women's levels, you know, like their upper deckers, you know, are inspired by coconuts. Like literally, like pre-human level, it's inspired by coconuts. You know, like and like we're basically like there's this theory that like we're hairless because we were like a water creature. You know, like we didn't have much hair because we were in the water the whole time, and so that infuses us, you know, like that means coconuts are even more so like a thing, you know, and so because it's like an aquatic species, you know, and so we're like eating all these like coconuts and stuff, you know, and like that was like the most popular thing. If you don't have any like thing around, you know, like you don't have modern stuff, you know, like we didn't even have like milk or anything. You know, like all we had were like coconuts, you know, so like it makes sense that like, I mean, it's a really intense flavor. It's got a lot of sugar in them, you know, and then like berries also, like, because, you know, like it's probably sour at first, you know, like sitting there curdling and stuff, you know, the upper deckers, and like, you know, so that's sour, so that's like berries, you know, they even it's kind of like a berry, you know, it's kind of like a berry, so, you know. That's pretty much what that is, and so that's kind of humorous. I don't know. It's a pretty good, and I think that's a good way to describe it. You know, like say upper deckers, you know, instead of profanity, which is, you know, yeah, that's weird. Yield, keep right. When I was driving down the street and I saw that sign, and I was like, I always am, or I wouldn't be here right now.
How the universal movements lead range and clear light to arrive before sent any thought throughout time using the quantum eraser experiment focused on light waves, particles, throughout time to their source. Intelligence collaboration at fusion. All can actually defend Earth with SOS. Apollo artists are willing to consume as we defend Earth. Time travel does not create parallel universes. Our mind, our memories have a resilience to the changes often non-mystery before changes. Starlight, matrix segment structure aligning the force of massively flood deflection of wave and particles and return paths of each of 19 to 1,013.8 billion light-year horizons traveling in between. Translation guides weight our actions will help diversify production of society's swimming to us. All actions controlling and controlling fields of production, never straying from their walls. Mind being externalized. Mind externalized. Mind frozen sustained by this. Cell tower news storage choreography broadcasting into space. Cube sound neutralizing stalkers. 4 human beings, advisor, and stylists. Nutrients maximizing innovation. Translation guide multiply diversify production of innovation information. 4 human beings, advisor, army, reality, human mapping, life cast. Memory access and student level. Antarctica cryonic spectrum. Quantum laser double slit alignment and live video. Quantum laser double slit binary builder. Quantum laser double slit binary inbox. Spectral sketching. Spectral shielding. Travel the universe in one still clone layer running before send.
Star matrices, spectral images, sculptures to outer space light sources instantly. Focusing all light particles, mechanism signals can explore beyond our horizon at clear light before sun. Script externalized line to guard the beginning of fertilizing resistance. Starlight matrix signal structures arriving before first massively flood deflection of wave and particles in return pass of each of the 19 to 1,013.8 billion light-year horizons traveled moment to moment. Our minds externalize the binary streams and mechanized sculptures of light. Location of the moving eye and dilation of the eye in the stream of outer space light particles records our surroundings and also reflections and translucence in and behind the eye. Radiance of the lenses affects the stream of particles. The lenses, and that lenses arch depending on the gradient. Using heat to widen the lenses. Alright, I'm going to start over. Our minds externalize the binary streams and mechanized sculptures of light. Location of the moving eye and dilation of the eye and the stream of outer space light particles records the surroundings and also reflections and translucence in and behind the eye. Radiance of the lens affects the stream particles, the lens, and that lenses arch depending on the gradient. Using heat to widen the lens increases the number of streams of light waves forming particles. Mechanism heat can be used to affect magnetism, then collect and build observer lenses. Light being absorbed by our eyes, reflections and translucence behind also absorb spots in our mind from brain electricity printed on the eyes, sending our minds like a mist, which can be reinforced by traveling to the mind throughout time with the mechanisms of light, checking the reproduction of the mind. Observer lenses might require particle-sized observer lenses. A lens of plastic or glass can be used over the eyes. Finding our basic binary level of light wave particle stream is the first step to calibrate the reading with the delayed choice double slit experiment, quantum eraser experiment. Finding our basic binary level of light wave particle stream is the first step to calibrate the reading with the delayed choice double slit quantum eraser experiment of 1999, theoretically first created as early as the 50s, aka there's evidence in all indigenous depictions of right-angled satellites before cities formed. A washroom window fractal fly lens surface of trillions of lenses should hopefully create detectable beams. Locating observer lenses at the edge of our observable universe horizon is easier than building new observers for this composition of galaxy clumping. Light mechanisms used like lasers and magnets rotate the observers as needed to sculpt at the new observers and mechanisms at their edge.
Star matrix signals, quantum eraser double slits, light wave particle binary allows us to build spectral external mind structures traveling the universe in moments and clearing light arriving before sent to anywhere thought throughout time. Mechanisms of flight can be experienced as if made of matter, gardening pressures, shelling heated air, while containing externalized minds traveling the universe in moments, then returning before sent to any thought throughout time with the quantum eraser experiment. Mechanisms of light can be experienced as if made of matter, gardening pressures, shelling heated air, while containing externalized minds traveling the universe in moments, and returning before sent to any thought throughout time with the quantum eraser experiment. Mechanisms of light build bending light through any heat and gravity, focusing cone compositions to create more heat and move gravity. Mechanisms of light can be experienced if it made of matter, gardening pressures, shelling heat air, while containing externalized minds traveling the universe in moments, and returning before sent to any thought throughout time with the quantum eraser experiment. Optimize externalization of all processes of our mind's routine systems and creativity, with downloading and uploading memories, allowing resurrection and amplification of senses, extreme alternating states of consciousness, and radical enhancement of motor functions. Now phones can be enhanced to be the foundation of external mind structures that calibrate your ears and eyes with exercises using sensory deprivation of immediate experiences until you remember and experience every single unconscious moment as chosen and necessary, aka firing synapses, copy not needed.
Firing snaps, copy not needed. Lucid dreams. Use as a monitor offer malleability of consciousness necessary to stint components of the mind, allowing conscious viewing of the mind, brain, sleeping. Antarctic cryonic resorts cease mind from dying when brains stop firing. Legally, immortal corporations earned us immortality. Optimize externalization of all processes of our minds, routine, systems, and creativity with downloading and amplification of senses, extreme alternating states of consciousness, and radical enhancement of motor functions. Now phones can be enhanced to be the foundation of external mind structures to calibrate your ears and eyes with exercises using sensory deprivation of immediate experiences until you remember and experience every single unconscious moment as chosen and necessary. Calibrate all your actions for perfect energy conservation and production of your portfolios to strengthen your immortal mind's ability to information, time travel, depths of length. Lucid dreams can be used as monitor when waking up in the morning. Look your hands in your mind when falling back to sleep. Decide what you want to visualize and control. The more vivid the dreams grow, the less control you have, which is countered with audible reminders of what you experience and control. Further empowered with wearing augmented reality, targeting images, allowing your movements to activate senses
to supercomputer cores mapping our experiences.
U.S. cell towers fully occupant send powerful space-based missions using U.S. instruments. The power moves the cell tower area rapidly gaining interest. Gimmicky research fighters with exact use titles sorted into the cell tower. Select the next cell tower's points on the left side of the gimmicky page.
Retitled cell towers areas news. Sketching with the towers broadcast into space regards us. Being of life, immortalized equals immortalizing existence. Immortalization, externalize mind, and freeze. Travel the universe in the moment, then clear light to allow forcing with mixtures of viewed stars, light waves to particles. Trust epicenter bounding, immortalizing existence starting with sectors, gobbling, crying, expounding, biggest natural solar scenes, camera, fog screens, swarms, teleportation, control, radio, TV static, that is, microwave radiation from the edge of the visible universe, mechanizing slits, instantly rewriting waves to particles to their sources. Entrance level plexiglass reflecting the pool roof of a cellar studio in a burning house, highlighting a grove giant as night-lit tree form drilled acting voices towering Woolsworth, magnet shield from Gadsden, Aegean snake mapping Wall Street, ancient tunnels to Hellfire Club, Halloween fairs, innovation competition earning ancient flight mainframe technology, $500 man of the year grandfather, clock card and pool table coffin coolers with neo-evolving single-set whiskey shot magnets, activating a landscape beneath cleared chest levels, changing elevation, investing quadcopter exoskeletons, sustaining frozen grand lodging catacombs.
Time travel existing proves God exists. Time travel is the first superpower needed to gain omnipotence. Time travel into the past is observed and proven with a quantum eraser experiment that rewrites light waves to particles throughout time to the source. Time travel into the future is recorded on rockets. Once you have time travel, you are at the beginning and end of time, and are dealing with preserving that point at which you gain time travel that instantly gives you omnipotence. Once you're really good at time travel, you instantly are able to rebuild yourself to omnipotence with the infinite resources and time available. Looks like evil is not isolated from us, because the timeline is being preserved until God gets really good at time travel to create himself.
Quantum Eraser Experiment Build Zone of U.S. Intelligence Collaboration at Fusion will all can actually defend Earth with SMS. Using the Quantum Eraser Experiment sculpting with the focusing of starlight waves to particles throughout time to the source, allowing us to travel the universe in moments, then clear light to arrive. Clear light in the return path to arrive before sent to any thought and anywhere thought throughout time. Rewrites built can earn clearance if your U.S. intelligence supercomputer approves. Location of the eye and dilation of the eye in the stream of outer space light particles records our surroundings and also reflections and translucence in and behind the eye. Gradients of the lens affects the stream of particles, lens, and that lenses arch depending on the gradient. Using heat to widen the lens increases the number of streams of light waves forming particles. Light being absorbed by our eyes, reflections and translucence behind also absorbs thoughts in our minds like a mist, which can be reinforced by traveling to the mind throughout time with the mechanisms of light checking the reproduction of the mind. A washer and window fractal fly lens surface of trillions of lenses and collections of people forming a similar thought and lens structures built like Indian mounds add power to the rewriting of time. The quantum eraser experiments focused on rewriting starlight waves to particles allows us to sculpt starlight into mechanisms at the edge of our universe horizon, and that allows us to use mechanisms we sculpt at the next horizon and further in moments. Simple mechanisms that catapults us
18 billion light years to the next horizon, which is the dense origin of the universe, then you can either off switch, then awaken 18 billion years later, or you can rearrange light particles in the return path of that horizon. So the catapult launches you like to the past, then to the present, then to the past, then to here is the first steps there. To start sculpting starlight, find Earth's one window of clear sky. Then once out of the Milky Way, we hit wide open space at the edge of the galaxy clump, using the galaxy light to sculpt with, not single stars. A sphere needs to be located or created, then shields built to the next sphere. We are working in the blind, so we won't know where the second sphere is. Scan until it can bounce off existing galaxies and stars as lens sphere, or in the next horizon. Light can also be used to form a lens/sphere made of light. It is like we're a computer projector hitting our universe horizon observer sphere at different angles, then adding shields to hit the next till it sends back. Return is observed. With where it was light wave, it is now particle code. Several streams coding a several stream sent to a sphere at the edge of a non-shielded, when it hit, comes from fan shield that speeds up the stream to the present, then the coded stream is no longer coded and remains streamlined. Then a fan then hits our edge and the fan shields that stream.
Good strategy is offer ongoing voting/polling systems with all things in government and court being able to be voted on. Vote for yourself, and you get to vote for everything you want to. Vote for everything you want to vote for. Just sign in to the site, and your percentage of votes on topics go, or just let the candidates decide that you voted for. The technology innovation curve is definitely overdue for an ongoing voting/intricate polling app, allowing all people to vote on all things in government. All things government officials are voting on, and the judges judging in the courtrooms. So, like, it's perfect for a governor or president's platform because they have that veto bill, so everybody in a courtroom can have a veto on any crime. The second thing that you need to run as part of your platform is immortality, offering immortality. Consciousness digitization is a basic process complementary when you join any U.S. service. Expand consciousness out of the mind with surface electrodes on the forehead and above the spine. With lucid dreams as monitors, making consciousness malleable till you see your brain sleeping with sensory deprivation exercises. Infomorph immortality, the service and Bill Gates offer you with a mainframe that leads/guides your choices and actions so heavily, all that's lost when you pass is a bit of extra light added to your consciousness in your brain, that's housed in your brain. Any fallen servicemen want to help me build them a mobile isolation chamber / radio frequency shield for lucid dreams as a monitor, leading all us to Antarctica, exoskeletons guided with consciousness digitization apps. Heart valves of the folks going to Antarctica will be donated because they are virtually unnecessary in a frozen state like that. And that will make the second trip free because of donations and gratitude for the heart valve donation. The heart valve demand being flooded now. Conquer grief by using lucid dreams as a monitor every time you wake up, literally heaven on earth. What is the difference between memory of reality and memory of dreams? Anyone want to collaborate on building isolation chambers for us? I need to build radio frequency shields again. What am I supposed to do to create the EMP shock pulses? I tried 3,000 pounds of magnetic force and it didn't work. So I need to create the pulses now, right? To win the presidency, distribute isolation chambers to turn off radio frequencies and invasive technologies that are torturing us and have wasted 50% of artists since 2012. Good strategy is offer ongoing voting/polling systems with all things in government and court. They will be voted on. Vote for yourself, and you get to vote for everything you want to. Vote for everything you want to vote for. Just sign in to the site, and your percentage of votes on topics go, or just let the candidates decide that you voted for. The technology innovation curve is definitely overdue for an ongoing voting/intricate polling app allowing all people to vote on all things in the government. All things the government officials are voting on, and the judges judging in the courtrooms. So, like, it's perfect for a governor or president's platform because they have that veto bill, so everybody in a courtroom can have a veto on any crime. The second thing that you need to run as part of your platform is immortality, offering immortality. Consciousness digitization is a basic process complementary when you join any U.S. service. Expand consciousness out of the mind with surface electrodes on the forehead and above the spine. With lucid dreams as monitors, making consciousness valuable to super brain, sensory deprivation exercises. Infomorph immortality, the service and Bill Gates offer you with a mainframe leads/guides your choices and actions so heavily all this loss will be past. There's a bit of extra light added to your consciousness in your brain. It's how's the brain. Any non-servicemen want to help you build a mobile isolation chamber / radio frequency shield for lucid dreams as a monitor. Good strategy is offer ongoing voting/polling systems with all things in government and court being able to be voted on. Vote for yourself, and you get to vote for everything you want to. Vote for everything you want to vote for. Just sign in to the site, and your percentage of votes on topics go, or just let the candidates decide that you voted for. The technology innovation curve is definitely overdue for an ongoing voting/intricate polling app allowing all people to vote on all things in the government. All things government officials are voting on, and the judges judging in the courtrooms. So, like, it's perfect for a governor or president's platform because they have that veto bill, so everybody in a courtroom can have a veto on any crime. The second thing that you need to run as part of your platform is immortality, offering immortality. Consciousness digitization is a basic process complementary to any U.S. service. Expand consciousness out of the mind with surface electrodes on the forehead and above the spine. With lucid dreams as monitors, making consciousness malleable till you see your brain sleeping with sensory deprivation exercises. Infomorph immortality, the service and Bill Gates offer you with a mainframe that leads/guides your choices and actions so heavily, all that's lost when you pass is a bit of extra light added to your consciousness in your brain that's housed in your brain. Any fallen servicemen want to help me build them a mobile isolation chamber / radio frequency shield for lucid dreams as a monitor, leading all us to Antarctica exoskeletons guided with consciousness digitization apps. Heart valves of the folks going to Antarctica will be donated because they are virtually unnecessary in a frozen state like that. And that will make the second trip free because of donations and gratitude for the heart valve donation. The heart valve demand being flooded now. Conquer grief by using lucid dreams as a monitor every time you wake up, literally heaven on earth. What is the difference between memory of reality and memory of dreams? Anyone want to collaborate on building isolation chambers for us? I need to build radio frequency shields again. What am I supposed to do to create the EMP shock pulses? I tried 3,000 pounds of magnetic force and it didn't work. So I need to create the pulses now, right? To win the presidency, distribute isolation chambers to turn off radio frequencies and invasive technologies. They're torturing us and have wasted 50% of artists since 2012. Good strategy is offer ongoing voting/polling systems with all things in government and court being able to be voted on. Vote for yourself, and you get to vote for everything you want to. Vote for everything you want to vote for. Just sign in to the site, and your percentage of votes on topics go, or just let the candidates decide that you voted for. The technology innovation curve is definitely overdue for an ongoing voting/intricate polling app allowing all people to vote on all things in the government. All things the government officials are voting on, and the judges judging in the courtrooms. So, like, it's perfect for a governor or president's platform because they have that veto bill, so everybody in a courtroom can have a veto on any crime. The second thing that you need to run as part of your platform is immortality, offering immortality. Consciousness digitization is a basic process complementary to any U.S. service. Expand consciousness out of the mind with surface electrodes on the forehead and above the spine. With lucid dreams as monitors, making consciousness malleable to your super brain, sleeping, sensory deprivation exercises. Infomorph immortality, the service and Bill Gates offer you with a mainframe leads/guides your choices and actions so heavily, all that's lost when you pass is a bit of extra light added to your consciousness in your brain. It's housed in your brain. Any fallen service wild isolation chamber slash radio frequency shield for lucid dreams as monitor.
A mechanism composed of lenses of heat instead of lenses of glass, plastic, or water, focusing light to form other lenses, fueled by light. So a mechanism completely composed of light.
Okay, I'm testing 3,000 pounds of magnet on about 10,000 pounds right now. I've already tested this before, it doesn't work. Just so you know, I just wanted some video footage this is 3,000 pounds of magnet, so this is literally impossible. Like, I'm surprised the phone doesn't crash or the speakers crash. Something. I mean, it's completely covered in magnets. There's like no way. I mean, it's supposed to be seriously messed up, just like this. People saying that the RFshield will work. Okay, well, it doesn't turn off the phone or anything, you know? So that's the test there. That echo my computer.
Fall back to sleep, fall back to sleep.
Fall back to sleep with dream machine. Fall back to sleep. Lucid dreams. Use the fall back to sleep with dream machine. Is the flickering of light on your closed eyelids.
This is
After a few minutes,
each video plays on the grid.
it creates a light show behind your eyelids because your brain thinks it's sleeping. Sculpt God to get video of God as the focus of use of the streams to monitor. This time, what we're doing is asking. It's also travel from Bible books, sculpting God with lucid dreams to monitor and record your hand movements and descriptions. The info will be compiled to create an image and video of God. The act of sculpting the light blade to form God will give us info needed to create models of it'll be pretty close, you know, especially within the re-referencing of what describe what features you're sculpting. That'll really do it. Purchase live views of live games of the compiling process, etc. Search cell phone. Particles throughout time to the source.
How to sing songs you create words to sing is keeping it really tight.
just doesn't exist because they would be here. If younger, we would be flooded because of ease of use of quantum racer experiment, travel to the universe moments. If older, they would be here. They have nothing to fear because we've almost solved war for ourselves. So they'd have no enemies anymore. There's no species that is kept 100% secret. There are always leads and resources to everything that we have around this world. It's too vast of a loop. Ancient flight mainframe made of wires and Sandman are cheap bonds created computing, immortalizing existence. Our autism features intricate variations and unconscious expressions that allow supercomputer cores to map our experiences. Time travel existing, proven into the future on rockets, and proven into the past with quantum racer experiment focused on starlight, proves God exists. Because that's the first superpower you need to gain omnipotence. Because you're instantly able to rebuild yourself to omnipotence with unlimited time by sending things and your mind into the future and anywhere throughout time. So you're able to collect all the resources you need to build yourself in omnipotence. It's like technology. That's the first technology you need. And then that instantly allows you to do everything else you need. Space engines composed of long explosions, housing and channeling forces. Space elevators can be made in loving using lightning, to magnetize, aerodynamic
sound of March kitties, sound that you see in March kitties, kind of has kitties. They can't start out as instructed distortion rate pitch. And March instinct is the sound of instilling bravery. It's an honor.
into-flight mainframe made of wise men, Sandman, our cheap mind's creative computing, immortalizing existence. Founding Fathers, World Trade Center, site, matrix out hieroglyphic-esque walls, created over generations, and making to finding things. Search for the use of natural formation of spiritual illusions, like what might have caused the disturbance naturally with reflection of light and smoke. The matrixing out of hieroglyphic-esque walls. Another thing that you can do is you don't have to use hieroglyphic walls. You can use like cave paintings and caves themselves, and like lived in spaces and walls and the marks, and layer them out. Matrix sleep states plugging you into the system. So there's the Matrix, right? It described a story of how we're all being used as batteries, and that's actually accurate. But it's not about power. Like, we're not being used as power. Like, how we're saving power is our brains are creative problem solving super efficiently. So, and when we're asleep, like you can't build a computer like that can creative problem solve like us without spending a lot of money and using a lot of energy, much more than our brains use. So when we're asleep, with lucid dreams, you can plug that into a system and it can fix things in like a factory or in a computer code. Our creativity can be used just like in the Matrix, like we get plugged into the Matrix, and maybe that's why we don't remember a lot of our dreams, is because we're working on like all kinds of problem-solving things. Anyway, I know for a fact that's going on. That our brains are capable of being plugged in, and probably are being plugged in into computer programs when we're asleep we're like factory working. And that's our primary value, I think, in our current state, is that we go to work every day to be self-sufficient and buy our food, and if we're good enough at what we're doing when we're asleep, we get, like everything that happens to us while we're awake is used to form our brains when we're sleeping for the right, so that we're in the right mindset in our sleep state, dream state, plugged into whatever system to maintenance those things there. Because you can't create a computer with this creative problem solving without spending a lot of money. Might as well search the Congo permafrost for ancient Egypt sites on and research the space elevator components and the permafrost of the Congo Mountains there, because it's a volcano also in that chain, and it has everything you need to create a space elevator. So you can magnetize the soot, then with the surplus lightning zone, and the soot is created with the water source in the Nile, And then you can filter the soot aerodynamically to where it shoots almost into space, like way up there into like weather balloon area. You might have to start this space elevator with components from space first, but you can do it. You can create a space elevator with this, and with its momentum being shot up there, if you keep it sustained enough, it will, with these being so light, will be able to propel the aerodynamic soot into outer space. The Congo permafrost, you can find the ancient Egypt sites that are obviously going to be there through creating a matrix like Indiana Jones inside the hieroglyphics. So there's going to be leads to where these sites are in that permafrost. They're so obsessed with like preserving things that they would have used the permafrost in the ancient Egypt, in the Congo Mountains. So if you matrix out these walls of hieroglyphics, it took generations to create just one wall. So several generations. So in that amount of time of innovation, father to son, you know, maybe they threw some daughters in there too, but usually they use males in that society, from what I understand. They would have serious innovations created over that time. So in that, they're not going to be working with a two-dimensional surface anymore. They're going to be thinking three-dimensional, and if they're working with hiding things, they're going to be hiding the map within a matrix of information. And there's already a matrix formed. So that's how you find the all kinds of things, is to matrix out the hieroglyphics. So the one wall, like a three-dimensional space, like layering of the imagery, evolution from one form to the next, and from that form on that wall, like all four walls, the ceiling, form like the exact hieroglyphics that, like, you're gonna see that being used. And I don't think that we've done that yet. But that's a way to find things in ancient Egypt. Because for people like us, there's no way we can sit there and stare at a wall our whole lives and not think in three-dimensional. Like, we're painting these three-dimensional things, and then we're going to end up wanting to build them three-dimensionally over, if not one generation, easily like our second generation. Illusion of teleportation. 3 drones towing one screen, and one drone and an extra drone tows a projector. So you have a screen and you have a projector, and they're all towed by drones. So at night, in particular, a large screen towed won't be seen. You won't be able to notice that it's a screen. And it could be right up on you, right? Like, it could be right in front of you, and you wouldn't know it. And the projector is able to project illusions of teleportation at extreme speed onto the screen in any form. So you can have like these light forms that dance around the sky really fast, or you can actually have like aircraft that like fly at you and then like all of a sudden teleport to another place, like at super speeds, and it's just a screen sitting in front of you that you can't notice that it's just a screen. This is good for decoys and camouflage leading aircraft. So the screens can arrive first and quickly hover unknown over enemy and visually cloak us and distract with whatever drawing them to parts of the sky and away from and wherever we need them. Ancient flight mainframe, made of wise men, Sandman, our sheer minds, creative computing, immortalizing existence. Founding fathers, World Trade Center, Site Russia, calling origination Turkmenistan. Many outline Mayan murals and tally satellites. Extreme tech gaps over us engineering all so it really ancient flight mainframe composed not of aliens, because aliens are disproven by the quantum research experiment. Like intelligent life beyond our own is
driven by the powerfulness of quantum physics, which I've talked about before. Result leads us to know that whether it's time travel or not, that wise men, ancient wise men, because there's this time gap in society and when our brains were exactly what they are today, that there's enough time there to have created a society that I don't necessarily think that it would be this mass society. I think originally it probably was like all the white, like a really smart guy went around collecting wise people, right? And then these people end up building computers, right? And flight. And they end up building, like, externalizing their minds eventually and creating, like,
painting on ancient live into an escape room.
So, like,
360 YouTube videos,
create satellites
keys to be able to escape.
And they're not like mass. They're not like flooding
WebGL slash AR.
It's just like one city.
Play at the same time
because it's very inclusive. Like you have to be super wise or expelled.
The 360 YouTube videos have all the frames viewed at once.
No, maybe not.
For this choose your own adventure.
But
also translates
and like they end up doing the same thing. Finding the ability for dogs plug your brains into, and then they figure out like, hey,
interactive translation guide.
As many people as possible created prompts to be able to like immortalize existence, which is the meaning of life. And that's found like really quickly, like.
Everyone has equal experience of happiness in life, maybe. Everyone has one set of experiences. Varying number of days in speed at which they are experienced, but just one set of experiences as a whole. So if you have all bad days and one good day, that is a heaven of a day, you know? If you have all good days and one bad day, that's a hell of a day. So, you know, it's like you get used to it. And your pain tolerance, the lack of it, like, you've got your back. It's possible that one good day is the exact same amount of good as the guy who has had all good days. Because the contrast is so extreme. And so the varying levels of that, you know, ends up balancing out to whatever, however many good days, however many bad days. It's quite possible that's how it all works for everybody. I think that'd be quite nice, you know, if that's really how it is. It's quite feasible. So like, even if you had just one slightly better day than all the other days, that one slightly better day, that's like super heaven. You know, as the experience would go, you know. Theoretically, it's possible. I don't know.
Consciousness is housed in 4 areas of the brain and can be externalized with cell phone electrodes on the forehead and just above the spine. Infomorphs can also be used to where a mainframe leads and guides our choices and actions so heavily all that is lost when we pass is a bit of extra light added to our consciousness. If you get a chance, on the website, you might enjoy using lucid dreams as a monitor, which is the foundation of offering consciousness the malleability necessary to externalize it into a cell phone. You can lucid dream on your own without my work by falling back to sleep when you wake and move your hands only in your mind. Then, when you decide you want to fly, you can, for example. Problem is, the more lush the dream starts, the less control you have. Is there a dream you might like to control more intricately? I can build augmented reality controls, your sleeping movements, and sounds used. A lot of interest seems to be in how the existence of time travel proves the existence of God, because that is the first thing to perfect to build omnipotence, which would then require preserving the timeline leading to that omnipotence, creation, which is why evil still exists.
Sculpt spaceflight back. What is the color, shape, and name of what the James Webb Telescope is looking at? Sculpt spaceflight down. Edges of the forms in the Hubble telescope's images where the James Webb Telescope is zooming in. Describe what you see. Sculpt spaceflight up.